Well, good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful morning, 8 a.m., March 15th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time to train, to support, talk strategy, tips, techniques. And today's topic, I think, is an especially practical one, as over the past couple weeks, we've talked about the value of bringing clients in through the two-step funding model that allows us first to work with them on step one, called the small business certification, to get them credible on paper, and then progress to step two, which is the funding. If you follow that two-step approach, I believe that A, you'll have more clients to work with, B, you'll make more money, and certainly C, you'll have higher client satisfaction. We have had nothing but very positive feedback of clients that have gone through this two-step process. One of the things that we avoid by taking clients first through the certification before going to funding is that they have no unmet expectations. We've given you the Darren example before, and unfortunately, Darren is a true story. So Darren didn't come in through the two-step program. He came into the full access to capital. We started working on his loan package, and we quickly realized that Darren wanted $7.5 million to start a business. Now, is that too much? No, it's not too much. But was Darren, or is Darren, credible enough on paper to qualify for that? No. And so now Darren is mad as a hornet because he didn't get a 7.5 million. So if we break this down into two steps, we can spend the first 4 weeks to 28 days helping the client build their financial literacy, build their loan package, become credible on paper, have the documentation needed, and then we can make a conscious decision: is this a good candidate to move into the funding, or is there just a radical disconnect? Anyone that does move into step two, the funding portion, which we still call access to capital, we will guarantee them at least $100,000, and certainly it could be more. We gave you the example, and Spencer's on the training today. Spencer brought in Ben Weaver. Ben Weaver didn't want 100,000. He wanted 120,000. So fine, we went, got him funded 120,000, and he very quickly paid Spencer the 10% performance fee. So Spencer made $12,000. Ben Weaver got his 120. Everyone's happy. So our topic today is how to take a prospect that has completed your landing page form and help them close. Now, what we know is Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, has done an amazing job. So if you just take prospects and get them to your landing page, what we call the lead capture page, page one of the two-page sequence, then the system will automatically send them emails and texts reminding them and prompting them to move on to enrollment, which is on page two. But you and I are not fools. We're not too naive to not realize that if we provide a human voice and we do a phone close, we'll have a much higher percentage. So if you're just an affiliate and you just want to drive into your landing page and be hands off, that's okay. But what we do realize is if you'll drive those same prospects to your landing page and then have a quick phone call with them using the script we're going to go through today, you'll have a much higher close ratio, and you'll be able to help more people, and you'll be able to make more money. So that's a decision that you can make. I'm not here to persuade you to do that, but I do want you to understand the best practice of how to do that. Okay, so as we see on the screen, we're going through the closer's phone script. But before we go close someone, there's a few things we need to do, right? We need to have a landing page, and you'll get your free landing page URL by going to twostepfunding.com and getting enrolled there. That'll allow you to go through the process yourself, so you have experiential learning. You understand exactly what we go through, and then also that will provide you your landing page, your link. So if you don't have your landing page or link, as we're calling it, then none of the rest of this matters, because you don't have anywhere to drive your prospects to. What are the goals? Well, you're going to be notified via email for each person that completes that first page, that lead capture page. And of course, your goal is to get them to actually enroll on page 2, because by them enrolling, we can help improve their financial literacy. We can help build their loan package. We can help them get credible on paper, so they benefit and you get paid. How much do you get paid? Well, you're going to earn the $100 up front. And as we talked about on yesterday's training, if they actually go through the funding process and get fully involved, you could make a lot of money, but at least 100 on the front end. Certainly will take you well less than an hour to help someone convert. So kind of worst case scenario, you earn $100 an hour. Best case scenario, you could earn a whole lot more. All right, one other point before we get into the script. We have a new referral partner, Brian. Brian's a great guy, smart, successful, been involved in finance. But what Brian did yesterday was a mistake. In his first day in, he was putting the contact information, because he had a list of contacts or prospects, if you will, and he just cut and pasted them into his page 1. Well, the strategy we're talking about today will not be as effective, because if you create awareness and drive them to your landing page, your link, and they fill out page 1, that lead capture page we're talking about, now you have a psychologically superior position, because they're looking for something and you're responding to their inquiry. If all you do is, if you pull a Brian and just put their information in, then as they're getting these follow-ups, whether it be text or emails or even your phone call, they're all oblivious to this. So could you do that? I guess you could, but it's not the recommendation. The recommendation is you want to have some sort of outreach campaign to create awareness, drive them to your landing page, and they put in their information on page 1, the lead capture. Does that make sense? So when we go through the script today, this will work very well if they've done that. If you pull a Brian, then I wouldn't do it this way, because you're calling a cold lead and it won't resonate with them. Make sense? Okay. So here we go with the script. So again, this is the script that we recommend once the prospect has completed page 1, the lead capture, but they haven't gone through and enrolled. Because keep in mind, the way that Scott's built this is once they complete page 1, it'll take them to page 2 and they could go ahead and enroll. You'll be notified of that via email as well. So if they've already gone through and enrolled, you don't need to follow the script, right? We're beyond that. You can certainly call them if you want and thank them for enrolling. But here we're talking about those people that have completed page 1, the lead capture page, but have not yet enrolled, page 2. You with me? Okay. So we're going to go through and read each statement or sentence or paragraph and then talk about why it's designed like this, because I think most of us tend to respond better if we know not just the what, but the why. So let's read it and then we'll talk about the why. So you would give them a call. Hello, Mr. Smith. I'm Thomas Montgomery, Senior Vice President of Business Legal Corporation. You recently completed an inquiry on our website regarding a $2,000 grant for accessing capital to start or grow a business, but I need to confirm 2 things before we proceed. So pause in the scripting. So why are these words chosen? Well, number one, we know that when you call someone and you refer to them by their name in formal sense, it is more pleasing to the ear, more receptive. And you want to quickly tell them who you are. They don't need to guess who you are. And by giving them your name, your title, and your company name, that creates authority. So it doesn't mean you're the boss of them or anything, but it creates credibility. So that's why we start that way. And then what we quickly want to do is make reference to, well, why are we calling you? We're calling you because you filled out an inquiry on our website, and you just give them enough of a reference. So you're not recapping all the benefits of the small business certification. We're just trying to create familiarity. So you're calling them by name, You're introducing yourself, including your title. We recommend the title Senior Vice President. And then you're stating why you're calling them. So let's pause there. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns on paragraph 1? So you're going to blurt this out. You're not having a loose conversation. You're going to blurt this out once they pick up the phone, because you have to establish familiarity and the reason why you've called them. Questions on that? If you have any questions, type it into Q&A on Zoom. It's like a chat. Okay, I think we're all on the same page. So we need to say as little as necessary to get the desired result. And so we've clarified with them, there's 2 things that we're going to talk to them about. The first thing is, how much capital are you needing in the next 30 to 60 days? Well, why would we ask that question? Well, obviously they have a problem, and the problem that we're trying to solve is getting them capital to start or grow a business. And this gets them engaged in the conversation so they're able to state a dollar amount. Now, what you know is some people will say a big number, some people will say a small number, some people will say, I don't know. Many of them will say, well, as much as I can get. You're not evaluating their response. You're trying to get them engaged, get them thinking, maybe even get them a little bit excited about the subject matter. So they're going to say whatever they say, and then we're going to move on. So then you acknowledge them, of course. And so then now we explain, and again, when it's in italics here, this is the scripting. Okay, great. Second and final question for you. Let me ask you, Mr. Smith, do you have the documentation in good order for the funding, such as your business plan, 36-month financial projections, strong balance sheet, etc.? You know, this is what makes you credible on paper. And then you stop talking and you wait for them to listen. And why do we ask this question? Well, what do you and I know? If we want to get business funding, we must look credible on paper. We must have a loan package. That's what most people don't have. And that's exactly what we do with step 1 of the 2-step funding process. So we're not beating them over the head. Well, wouldn't you like to sign up and pay $396 and get the small business certification with a loan package? Well, that is what they get. We need to present to them in words and concepts that will resonate with them. Now, you and I both know 99% of the people, if they're honest, are going to say, no, I don't have that. And they might give you some hybrid answers. Well, I've started a business plan or this or that, but hardly any small businesses have what they need to get funding. That's why you and I succeed and prosper in doing what we're doing and helping these individuals. And that's building out the loan package. So then we continue. Well, okay, well, there's no worries. We can go ahead and get that put together in just about 28 days. What I'd like to do, Mr. Smith, is I'm going to text you a link now on this number so we can go ahead and leverage the $2,000 grant and access the $10,000 of initial funding. Plus, you'll have the correct documentation for $100,000 plus in less than a month. Sound fair to you? And so then what you want to do is immediately text them your landing page, your link, that link that we were talking about up here, and then you walk them through it. You stay on the phone with them and they sign up. So there might be more conversation then. So you're not doing a hard close, but what you don't want to do is, we don't recommend, is a passive approach. Okay, well, I'll send you my link and take a look at that and okay, talk to you later, bye. No, we want to stay on the phone with them. They pull it up. It's mobile friendly. They can click on that. They can enroll and they can get started. So, of course, we have the little comment about our support team and how to access support. But what I really want to do is get feedback from you all on the script. What questions, what concerns do you have in using this script? Do you have to use this script? No. Do you have to use it word for word if you're going to use it? No. But is this what we've used and we've recognized a high close rate? Absolutely. So what questions, comments, concerns do any of you have about this scripting? All right, Joseph's one of our top Referral Partners. He's a licensed realtor out of Arkansas, and his point is a good one. Is that, you know, we're not skipping over all the details. The details of the relationship are captured on page 2, the second page of your landing page, and so that's where it goes through. You know, the 4-week curriculum and what we do and all the benefits. So you're going to be on the phone with them when they're on page 2. And so you can draw their attention to anything they're able to see. So it's so much more powerful if someone has a question. You know, they might ask more probing questions like, well, how does this work? Okay, do you have the page pulled up using the link? Let me show you how it works. And so you certainly do need to be familiar with the content on your landing page. And so you can guide them to whatever it is that might be a visual resource. But the end goal is to give it a try. Let's go ahead and click on the Get Started Now. There's 2 payment options. You can use the grant and pay $396, which is the $2,500 minus the grant allocation today, or you can even break it into $499 payments. But what you stated to me, Mr. Smith, is you're looking for $150,000 over the next 30 to 60 days. What you told me, Mr. Smith, is you do not have the documentation in order. That's exactly why this grant subsidized program operates, is to help small businesses like you get the documentation in order so we can go to funding in under a month. So you're a perfect fit for this. Thank you for that, Joseph. Veronica asked about title, and the title that I recommend, Veronica, is Senior Vice President. That's a nice title. I would use that title. All right. So let's go to Bruce. Bruce, you've got about 40 or 50 clients that had enrolled in the full access to capital that never completed their deposit. What has your experience been, Bruce, as you have called those 40 or 50 people, driving them to your landing page? And also, are you using this script or something similar? We'll give Bruce a moment. Who else to respond? Who else has questions, comments, concerns about using the scripting? So it's correct that here we're trying to be as brief as possible to get them to where we want them to be, which is to have your link pulled up on their phone or their iPad or their computer, wherever they're at. Most likely it's going to be their phone. Then certainly now you can have additional conversation as needed, but the real goal is to get them to give it a try, to enroll and give it a try. Okay, who has questions, comments, concerns on this process? Winston, let me know what your thoughts are. Winston, you've got a ton of prospects out there. What are your thoughts about using the script? Okay, Mr. Rich responds. So if they've completed the first page, how do they get back to the second page later? Well, so the way that Scott has set it up, there's a cookie. And so if they have completed page 1, when there's the follow-ups, many of the follow-up automation that Scott has developed will take them straight to step 2, but they already have the cookie in the system to attach them to you. Or worst case scenario, they go back and fill out page 1 if they come back again, which is only their name, email, and phone number, and then it'll automatically advance them. So it can work either way. But ideally, you'll get them on the phone, you'll have the link, you can walk them through it. And so worst case scenario, they just fill out page 1 again if they didn't go straight from page 1 to page 2, but a fair amount of the automation will link them directly into page 2, Mr. Rich. Okay. Who else has questions, comments, concerns on the process, on the script, or even the value proposition? Does everyone understand why it's so valuable for clients to go through this process, why it's needed if they're looking to get business funding, why there's no minimum credit scores, no minimum time in business to qualify, why this is going to result it should be in 100% client satisfaction, where we could never accomplish that by bringing people directly into access to capital, because we would always have the Darrens of the world that sign up. They haven't been told something that's inconsistent, but in their mind, they thought, oh, great, in 30 days, I'm going to have $7.5 million, even though I don't qualify. What you and I know is it's much simpler than that. There is no money tree. We have to qualify for the funding that we get. And the value proposition of what you and I do is to build their credibility on paper. All right, so thank you, Winston, for your response. Scott added a comment. So once they complete page 1, there's a follow-up campaign that includes 8 emails and 6 text messages that directs them to page 2. Once they purchase from page 2, the campaign stops. And so, yeah, thank you for Scott for giving the details so I could share that with everyone. So it could very well be that when you call them, they've completed page 1. And so you would send them your link. And again, they could just, worst case scenario, go ahead and put in their name, email, phone, and it'll manually advance them. But the automation that Scott has developed, both in emails and text, won't require them to go back to step 1. It'll take them directly to step 2. All right. Who else has any questions, comments, concerns? Okay, so let me summarize, and then I guess we're good for today. So what we wanted to accomplish today is to clarify the importance of calling your leads who have completed the landing page form but have not enrolled, and clarifying that we recommend that you continue to call them until you get them on the phone. You may call them, and a lot of people won't answer from a number they don't recognize. So what I would do is I'd call them, and if it goes to voicemail or isn't answered, I'd hang up and I would text them at that number. Hey, just tried to reach you. And essentially you could just do a quick summary of something like this. Hey, you had just applied for a grant to access capital to start or grow a business. Just tried to call you, couldn't reach you. I need to confirm 2 things so we can proceed. And so with that, then you want to get them on the phone. Mr. Rich is asking about going from the first page to the second page. So the way to get to the second page is by completing the first page. So you complete the landing page with name, email, and phone, and then it zips you right on over to the second page. That's how we get to the second page. Or using the follow-up automation that Scott has created, and those links that he's created will allow them to go directly to the second page. But normally you fill out the first and that takes you to the second. How do you get to second base on the baseball diamond? You touch first to go on to second. Okay, so who else has any questions, comments, concerns on this recommended script? It's important that you have confidence in it. It shouldn't be like that you're reading it. It should flow. You don't have to use these exact words, but the goal is to get them on the phone, clarify who you are, why you're calling, ask them a probing question, then ask them a qualifying question. And the qualifying question isn't what's your credit or how long have you been in business or even how much capital. It's, do you have the documentation in good order? Do you have your loan package put together? And they won't have, and often they don't even know exactly what a loan package is. So that's why we give them a few examples, things like your business plan, 36-month financial projections, a strong balance sheet. They may come back with questions like, well, I'm a startup, Joseph. I don't have a balance sheet. Well, no worries. We can help you with that. Even startups need a good loan package to be able to get approved for funding. And that's what this grant is helping us help you do. So let's go ahead and let me send you a text here with a link to the enrollment page, and we can go through that together, answer any questions, and we can give it a try. So that's what you're trying to do, is get them to get started. A lot of people will procrastinate, but if you're there on the phone with them, guiding them through it, you'll have a much higher close rate. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, that's what we need to do. Obviously, the first thing you need to do is go create some flow of prospects to your landing page. If you don't have a landing page, then you can get it here. Once you have a landing page, you need to direct your prospects to that page. Then you need to be on the phone with them. You might say, well, I don't want to talk to anyone. That's fine. You can let the automation do as much as it can. And or you could recruit a sub-affiliate that's on your team that likes to do the phone work and have them work your leads. I know a number of you are doing that. A number of you are just frankly too busy or not interested in picking up the phone and calling prospects. Not a problem. Since we do have a 3-tier structure, we're not network marketing, we're not MLM, but we have a 3-tier affiliate payout. Then great. Have someone in your team that is willing to make the calls, give them your leads to call, and let them make the phone calls. Then they get paid and you get paid. That's a simple fix. Simple fix. And frankly, the more people on your team, the more money that you'll make, because the more people you can help. All right. Any other questions we have before we wrap it up today? I sent this out to everyone. You should have this in writing in your email this morning, and let us know what we can do to help. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.